Hi, Mark Rogerson here. Thanks for tuning in. We're looking at taking financial control of your professional services firm. So what I'd like you to do first, if you're watching this is all about how to have cash in your professional services business and being aimed at you as a business owner. Suggest you download our eBook, which is how to improve your professional services firm. We work with a number of the professional services firms on how to improve their business. And taking financial control is one of the steps that we'd be recommending after you've calculated the capacity of your business, and that means calculating actually what your business can produce in terms of billings, and then looking at actually what it is producing. And then once you've sort of done that, or once we've done that together, of course, then we move into this what we call this triangle, effectively, or what we call the cash tetrahedron, which I believe is a really good start to having cash in your professional services firm. So what we've got here, we've got invoicing, debtors, and workflow. So what we reason is that you understand the capacity of your firm, i.e. how much you can actually bill, and then you understand what your actual billings are, and that those billings and WIP are recoverable, and then you've got a gap, or you've sort of worked to reduce that gap, and you still have no cash in your professional services firm. I'm reasoning that these things here are the reason why. So if all of these things here are working really well and well systemed and processed and drilled in, then that should mean that you will have cash in your business. If one of these things is broken or not working properly, then it's going to put pressure on you having cash in your business. So we're really encouraging you to work through that ebook that I've mentioned. I look at calculating capacity, look at what you're actually billing, work out and reduce why there's a difference, and then have a look at these three areas here to improve cash. So the first one, fairly obvious, is invoicing. What are your invoicing processes in your business? And this here is all system and process. Okay, so while we've got invoicing, debtors, and workflow, it's code for having a system and process for invoicing, one for debtors and one for workflow. So with invoicing, how do you invoice? What's the culture like in your professional service business? Is an invoice done right when the job's finished and sent out with the work? Is there a quota or an estimate done first? Do you ask for 50% up front? There's a whole lot of different ways that invoicing can be done. No right way for firm. It's going to be firm specific and need to wrap in with your existing culture, both of your staff and your clients, but it's something that needs to be discussed and look like. So if your invoicing practices are sloppy, that is, you send out bills late, there's perhaps no quoting process internally, let alone externally, that's going to put pressure on this component. So pretty clear, if you want to have cash in your business, the first component is you need to be sending out an invoice. That's fairly clear. Next component, not necessarily in order, but the next component is debtors. So you've sent out your invoice. What's then your debtor policy? How often do you contact your debtors? So if an invoice goes out and you have a debt straight away for that invoice, what's your policy? Does your invoice say 7 days? Does it say 14 days? If your invoice says 14 days and it's day 15 and that person hasn't paid, what's the process in the firm? If I worked into the firm and said to the person that follows up debtors, what's your process? Would they be able to tell me? And does that happen? So it's about having a system and process for your debtors. At 15 days, there's a polite email. At 30 days, there's another email. At 45, it perhaps escalates into an owner. What's happening at 60 days? So many professional services business I walk into have debtors that are well out to 90 days. I'm getting told these people are good clients, they'll pay eventually, etc. That's fine, but what's the process? What notification and follow-ups have they had up to that point? Is it just sort of, an invoice has gone out and it's just sat out in the ether with no contact being made for 90 days? If that's the case, then you probably deserve not to be paid. You really need a process to follow that up. Third and final is workflow, and I've written here system, process, efficiency. Workflow is all about internal, and it's a really big component, much bigger than what invoicing and debtors are. And in a sense, your workflow, what we sort of call a workflow map or an internal workflow map, that should cover everything from when the work comes in or when the client's engaged, right through to when the debt's collected. So you're really looking at that cradle to grave scenario of a client or that particular job. So workflow, I guess, is focused a lot on your internal stuff. So It's your templates and checklists. It's how-to videos internally. It's how to do the work. What stage is the next one to go to once we've got to a certain point. It's something that you should be able to walk into a business. There might be A3 sheets up on the wall, but it should be just a map of templates and checklists and next steps and videos, etc., to make this process as efficient as possible, to make your business as efficient as possible. You know, like in a professional services firm and the work people do, it's almost like a factory. You need to have that mentality where things need to be improved and refined, so this here becomes really efficient. So this is the cash tetrahedron, and I'm reasoning that if your invoicing practices are good, your data practices are good, you've got a workflow map that promotes system, process, and ultimately efficiency, then you're going to have cash in your business. Thanks for watching. I encourage you to download our ebook, all about how to improve your professional services firm. Thank you.